Chicago hasn't been on the map on an international or national front for many, many years. And that's what my personal goal and the goal of the Joint Civic Committee has been. To get them here. They haven't been here since 1992. Okay, 32 years ago. Beauty pageants, the past definition of that. That's not what this is about. The only person in a bikini you'll see there is me.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Hardcore Italians podcast. We got Ron Onesti back from Italy, back from Washington, back from probably a million other places. Ron, how's it going,
Close.
man?
It's going good, man. A lot's been happening, Michael. I mean, and you made a statement before we started filming, is that a lot of people don't realize how many things are happening in our Italian American community, but it's really amazing how the momentum has been created. The Columbus statues and all that stuff that we're going through right now. It's been 3.5 years, and actually, we are going to be having some resolution, a really cool, positive resolution in the next couple, 2-3 weeks. So we'll report on that. But that started a movement. It started some pride, that collective pride. Everybody had the pride, but collective pride, everyone coming together.
Yeah, got people like something to rally behind. Yeah.
Really did, and so many things been going on. And again, it's always been New York, New York, New York. And we love New York. I heart NY. I got the shirt here. I'll show you. But it's always been, when it comes to Italy, they go to New York, and, it's America's city. We know that. But, Chicago hasn't been on the map on an international or national front for many, many years. And that's what my personal goal and the goal of the Joint Civic Committee has been, to really put us on the map nationally and internationally. I can tell you, it's really tremendous. Even, for example, internationally. Just returned from Italy, and it was amazing. There was an amazing trip because it was there's a thing called Cibus. In Italian, food is cibo. So there's a thing called Cibus, which is the largest international food expo in the world, and it's in Parma, where Parmigiano Reggiano is, and Prosciutto di Parma is from. It's the food capital of Italy, really. And it was, we have our National Restaurant Show, we have our Pizza Expo, great events, but man, compared to this in Italy, heaven. I mean, it was
only imagine.
3,000 exhibitors, Mike. It was unbelievable.
3,000?
3,000. It was 5 buildings. Like 700 types of prosciuttos. I mean, it was unbelievable.
That sounds like heaven on earth.
Oh my God. I was like bathing in prosciutto and cheese and
That's
so
awesome.
It was amazing. But, some of the other meetings that I had out there, one of the meetings I had was to meet, I met the brand new Consul General in Chicago. Unfortunately, Thomas Botsios, our current Consul General, who's been absolutely one of the best. I mean, I've had the opportunity to work with the last 8, and he is by far the most vocal, the most communicative, really sincere, caring. All the other guys have been as well, but he's really is a special person. That's the good news. The bad news is that he leaves now. His 4-year term is up in August, September or so. So I was fortunate enough to have a meeting with the brand new Consul General in Rome at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, which is their big, kind of capital building in Rome, kind of. And his name is Mario. What is it now? Mario Bertoli, and I can tell you, it's spectacular. He's a wonderful young man. He's married with 2 young children. They'll be going to school in Chicago, and he's very excited to come. But this is his first go around as a Consul General.
Yeah.
So he's really looking for guidance. And the fact that I went out there and shook his hand, and we had a great 1-hour meeting and talked about our community and Chicago as a city, and even concerns about crime, just all that stuff. He said, he's really been put at ease because he's never been to Chicago. He's never been a Consul General before, but he's a wonderful individual. I mean, we're going to love him. And so did that. Also
awesome.
Met with, it's called CONI, which is actually their International Olympic Committee, let's call it. And we're working on bringing what they do in Italy. They have an international Olympic style event for Italian youth from all over the world. Italian from Portugal, Italians from England, Italians from Ireland. It's about 10,000 kids for the ages of 13 to 15. And so I was a part of it many, many years ago. And so I restarted that relationship as part of the National Italian American Sports Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
And so we're going to be bringing a youth hockey team to perform to compete in Italy. And
That's
then we're
awesome.
excited about that. That'll probably happen in, I think it's October. So
That's
had that
awesome.
meeting. So a lot of great things, again, that would normally go to other cities. Now Chicago is being a part of it. So very, very cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. I know the Airforce too.
Oh,
They're
man.
coming. That's huge.
Well, I'll tell you what, again, the relationships that we've created, or I shouldn't say created, but reinvigorated with our personal relationship, working relationship, close working relationship with the Consul General, being there for him when he needed stuff, and him really pushing for us, plus our own personal relationships that we've had and other members of our team and our communities and our organizations. For example, last week we did a reception for the president of the region of Lombardia. So you've got regions like Tuscany and Sicily, and it's kind of like governors of a state. We have states, and we have a governor. They have regions, and they have the president of the region. And there's an educational initiative where it's a teachers exchange program. American teachers to Italy, Italian teachers to America, and Ridgewood High School. And there's two schools in Norwich and in Harwood Heights are doing this, taking part of this exchange. And the president of the region thought it was so cool and so important. Just for 2 days, he flew in just to meet with all of us, and obviously, meet with the schools.
So what do they teach? Like the language, or
Yeah,
just
it's
teach
language, culture,
history, culture
Yeah.
too? Okay.
So they're sending teachers out here, and we're sending teachers out there, and it's a really cool thing. And so we had this reception for him downtown, and the delegation from Lombardia. But again, it's a whole region now. I mean, that's the region president they came that knows that Chicago's here
huge,
on the map, and they're going to be part of our Columbus Day Parade. It's these kind of relationships, and because of the relationships that we've created, you touched on the Italian Airforce. It's been a personal goal of mine to get it's called the Freccia Tricolore, which we all you'll see. You've seen this before. You've seen the green, white, and red smoke coming from the 9 naval plane, Air Force
so
planes.
Cool.
It's like our, the Blue Angels that we have in America. It's the Italian Blue Angels.
Yeah.
And we had, to get them here. They haven't been here since 1992. Okay, 32 years ago. And just a personal thing. And I've been reaching out to them and creating relationships. Matter of fact, last year at our Columbus Day Parade, we had a major 3-star general as part of our parade. He came out and he saw, how everything was so cool in Chicago, met with them at the embassy in Washington, met with them in Rome.
Yeah.
Finally got them to agree to come to America. And it was all set up, ready to go. The Freccia Tricolore was going to perform at the Chicago Air and Water Show. How cool is that?
Yeah, I know.
Until the Democratic National Convention decided to move the Air and Water Show because of them being here. That moved that date, but they already had that date committed.
Okay.
So now we had to change it. Now they're going to be in the Milwaukee Air and Water Show in July.
Okay.
So that's good. They're still here. They're an hour and 20 minutes away.
Yeah, it's close. An hour is
it's
nothing.
Close.
Yeah.
But again, our close personal relationship is like, we got to do something for Chicago. We kind of started this thing.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
Now,
wow.
So what they're doing for us, very special.
Man, there's changes every day with all the stuff. It's crazy.
It does. But what they're doing, they're going to do that thing. That's on July 28th in Milwaukee. But what they're doing on July 27th, as a salute to their friends and family in Chicago, all 9 biplanes, the airplanes that are coming, plus 2 they call photography planes that fly along with the planes, are going to do several flyovers on Chicago's lakefront.
Oh, there you go. Perfect.
Right above the Italo Balbo Monument.
Nice.
It's just east of Soldier Field. They're doing that strictly because of our relationship with them. They said we have to do a salute
That's awesome.
to our friends in Chicago. Nobody's got that.
That's awesome.
I mean, to get the whole Air Force to come over.
That's awesome.
And there's also so it's a big deal, and that's going to be July 27th.
Cool,
it's Saturday morning, 9 a.m. It's on the lakefront, and that is just east of Soldier Field. There'll be buses leaving from Casa Italia. So you'll have all this at our JCCIA website, jccia.com. And this is all just happening. So if you go there, the information will be up there very, very soon. But this is so cool.
Yeah, and the thing is too, and I remember you talking to some of those guys in Washington before, like When you watch them fly, it's crazy. I mean, the speed they're going and how coordinated they have to be. Like, are those guys special types of people to be able to?
Special forces, absolutely. Think about the Blue Angels. I mean, and the Thunderbirds. I mean, it's just amazing what these guys do. And you know, the whole event on that Saturday, not the event, but their participation in it, because we have several other parts of the event, is only about 25 minutes. But think of what the world did for the eclipse. Everybody slammed the brakes on their world, went outside for, what was that, 2 minutes, 4 minutes, whatever it was, you know? So this is the same thing. And this is this is history. This hasn't happened in Chicago for 32 years, number one. Number two, it's something they're doing just for Chicago as a nod to Chicago. And number three, it's such an emotional experience. So if you're into your Italian American, your Italian heritage, and you've got that pride, you say, I'm so proud, and I'm proud of my heritage and my nonni that we're here, then be a part of this event. When you look up to the sky, you see the green, white, and red, the smoke, and the sound that's going to fill the skies with those thunderous engines, and it's just an amazing historic event. Yeah,
especially too, since they went out of their way to come to Chicago. Like, they didn't have to do that, so that's awesome.
It. If there's 4 people out there, they'll see. And who knows, if there's not enough people, they'll drop a bomb. They'll do something. I don't know. But it's something that we should, matter of fact, we're going to have on that following Monday, we're going to have a very special reception for all the pilots. There's 30 pilots, 3-star generals. I mean, major brass.
That's
awesome. This is stuff, again, doesn't happen in Chicago. It does now.
Yeah, that's awesome. What other events are happening in Chicago?
Oh my goodness. Well,
I know there's a lot. I know you're talking about the Fest too recently and stuff.
Yes. On June 14th, there's another special event that we're actually going to finalize. Go to our website, but I want to start getting this out because, again, Consul General calls. When I was out there, met there's Consul Generals of Italy all over the world, and there's one person in Rome that's in charge of all the Consul Generals, of all the great stuff that's been happening in Chicago. This guy wants to come out and meet us. Again, another guy that's flying from Rome for the day and going back. I don't know how they do this stuff. It's crazy. That's on June 14th, and we're gonna have a location. And we want members of the Italian American community to come out and meet him, and he wants to understand. Like, what's going on here? It's almost like Chicago is just
they're like interested in learning.
What's going on here? So that's what I'm saying. It's a cool thing. And then of course on July 21st at the Des Plaines Theater, we have our Columbus Queen pageant. And beauty pageants, the past definition of that's not what this is about. The only person in a bikini you'll see there is me. The rest of them, we're not doing that. Well, that may be a reason for you not to come. But the point here is, it's not about that. It's really about pride. These young ladies, and I gotta say, I've been part of this obviously forever. I met my wife actually in the pageant 30 years ago now.
That's awesome.
We've been 32 years, whatever it is. It's such a display of class, elegance, beauty in and out. Because the intelligence. I mean, it's really a source of pride for the beautiful Italian women that we have in our community. And I say beauty. We know what beauty is all about. Beauty is all about what's inside. Beauty is about what's inside here. The way they communicate. It's a source of pride. 100%. If you go, the St. Patrick's Day parade, they'll have 60, 70 participants in their Queen pageant. The Polish community have it. The Latin American community has it.
So here's a question for that, because I remember last year we were telling people, like, you should sign up for the pageant, you know. But I feel like it could be a little intimidating if you don't have experience. Like, people are saying, like, oh, like, I've never been in a pageant before, like these other girls might have, and you know what I mean? Is that something to be intimidated about, or can anybody do it? Should you have?
Well, listen, if you're interested, Mike, sign up. But the point here is that it's a really good point you bring up, because the word pageant is probably intimidating, because this isn't like that. This isn't like a talent show. This isn't a beauty contest. It's really about, we ask questions about, just, broad based, but, tell us about your pride and your heritage, or what you would do as an Italian American to help promote our heritage. It's that kind of a thing. Again, and then all the participants become part of the court. You're all part of the Columbus Day Parade. So let's
that's
call
cool.
there's no, let's call it losers. You know,
Yeah.
it's not like that. You know, it's a group team effort. It's a beautiful friendship that these young ladies all start. I mean, they keep in touch for years and years and years. But it's a way to show the pride that we have in our young Italian women in our community.
Yeah.
So again, I think the word pageant is probably a misnomer with this whole situation.
Mm-hmm.
It's really an exhibition of the wonderful, intelligent class that we have in our community that other ethnic groups show. So again, go to jcci.com. There's the form there. There's some prizes involved as well. But don't be intimidated. It's a very short thing. It used to be hours long. It's only a couple hours, and it's really a wonderful event. So
Okay.
there's a lot of things going on, and we can do this for hours.
Yeah, true. No, I know. Okay, that's cool. But thanks for clarifying. I'm glad you said that because I wasn't sure myself what to say back last year and stuff. So
Yeah,
that's good
absolutely.
to know. Okay, and then you have something coming up tomorrow, pretty big too. you were
Tomorrow, yes. Well, as we're taping this today, I leave for New York tomorrow. There's a thing called the Conference of Presidents of Major Italian American Organizations called Copa Miao, and there's about 50 of us. There's presidents from all over the country. I represent the Midwest and Chicago, and there's New York and LA and New Orleans. Everybody's there, and we talk about different issues, the Columbus thing, and also perpetuating our heritage and culture. And it's just a good way for all of us to come together. So that's where we're going down in New York tomorrow.
Okay, that's cool. Is that something they do every year? It just sounds cool, like all these presidents getting together,
Yeah.
organizations and stuff. Like, how often do they do that?
Well, and, it just started really in the last couple of years to put it together, and it's something that we've been working very hard at because again, I mean, anybody, especially in the past, to talk about our Italian American community, the faults. There's the jealousy. There's the why him, not me syndrome that we've had. There's also the divisiveness that has been there. And whether it's true or not, that's something that's been out there. So a lot of us have been really pushing the unification of our community.
That's awesome.
And everybody wants it. And everyone's saying, we're so proud and comfortable in from where we came. Again, I'll always talk about the Cabrini film.
I actually just watched that too a couple weeks ago.
Incredible.
Man. Yeah, it was awesome. Yeah,
incredible. I work very close with them. I've got a call today with Eustace Worthington, the guy who put the $40 million up for that. We're about to announce a freaking major thing, which I can't touch on yet.
Oh, man.
But wait till you see this thing.
Okay.
This is so exciting. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
But again, anybody out there, your homework assignment, you must watch the Cabrini film.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, it's because she was like an entrepreneur too. Like, it's inspiring, man. Like, I didn't realize everything that she did, because I thought it was like, I don't know, it was on a crazy level. I don't want to say too much without spoiling it either.
No, the point here is it's twofold. I mean, it's all about what Mother Cabrini did to create her world. It's an international experience, an international presence. But it also touches on really what the immigration experience was for the Italians from 1880 to 1920s, how terrible it was.
Yeah.
And, you have a lot of ethnic groups talking about how they were treated when they came to this country from the 1400s all the way to now and before. And since then, in 1960s, 1930s, I mean, everybody had the challenges here. And you hear a lot about the other ethnic groups. We as Italians didn't really push that.
Yeah.
You don't, like I'll say it till the day I die, which is, again, in Washington, went to the World War II Memorial. Because this is the 90th anniversary of D-Day, when America, they freed, liberated, they tried to protect France and stop the Third Reich and all that kind of stuff that was going on. It was a big deal back then. And this is the 90th anniversary, as I mentioned, and people don't realize that of all the ethnic groups, the Italians, over 1 million Italians or Americans of Italian descent fought for America, and most of them, including my dad, against Italy.
Yeah. Yep.
And that's a big deal. I mean, that really is a big deal. So we're celebrating that the next couple months, and to know that there were over 600,000 Italians around 1943 that were in internment camps. that were deemed as criminals, that were deemed as enemies of the state.
Yeah.
They lost their jobs. They lost their possessions. They were chastised for being Italian, because just like the Japanese were, you know, enemies of the people. So, but we didn't talk about
aliens,
that much.
right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So there's so much about our heritage that has not been told the story, and that's what we need to do also.
Yeah, and we wanna put out something too, like maybe a Italian history or Italian American history, I guess, crash course or something. I've been wanting to ask you, like, if there's things that you said like every Italian American needs to know, like, what would you say? Like, are there 10 things, 15?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? If you're just getting into learning about history, what are those things that you need to know, like, no exception? You know,
that's a great point, and I'll bring one for our next podcast. But last October, we came up with, I worked very closely with the Franoi, and we came up with a special edition called Proud and Positive. And it was 3-part. It was the truth about Columbus, all the facts they're just lies. This is the actual truths by the authors, by the scholars about Columbus. The second part about it was exactly what you said. It's what you need to know about Italian history, that, you know, it's a crash course. The third part about it is the source of pride. Did you know that Italians invented this? Italians invented that. They started this.
Yeah.
So if you want one of those issues, go to Hardcore's Facebook page or contact us. We'll get you a copy of that free of charge, of course, because it's really we've got them, and I'll mail them to you personally. And it's something that you should, especially if you're an educator or a company, you want to pass out, you know, distribute copies of this publication. It's really something.
Yeah, I remember you working hard on that too for months last year. You guys were talking about it every meeting, and going back, like, it was a big deal.
No, we got it, and it's been distributed all over the country, and schools are using it. People are using it all over. There's municipalities are using it. No, there's quite. It's become quite a tool.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, exactly. And I feel like the Cabrini movie too says a lot, and just how you said with our immigrants. One thing I did want to say before hopping off, what I thought was interesting with Cabrini is how she went and got the reporter and brought him to where they all lived, and then in 2 seconds he wrote that article about how rats live better than Italians and stuff. That was crazy. So, well,
you know what, she's spectacular. Again, we were talking about the Queen pageant earlier. You know, if you watch this movie, especially if you're an Italian American young lady, and you see, I mean, if there's one message to get out of the movie, which there's 50. Yeah, there really is. Yeah. But if there's one, you know, she kept on saying, I'm an Italian woman. Yeah. You know, that's the power of an Italian woman. And she was all of like 4'9". Really. I mean, she, you know, and probably 100 pounds soaking wet. And, but she pushed, I'm an Italian woman. Yeah, she did. She became the first American canonized saint. I mean, like I said, there's 50 points to this thing. But again, especially young Italian American women, see this film. Yeah. The inspiration you'll get from it, you know, you can't even describe it. Yeah, that's awesome. Okay. I think that's it for this podcast, Ron. Thanks again for I don't know what happened here. Thanks again for coming by. And appreciate it, man. It's a lot of good stuff. So thank you. See you the next time. Okay. Ciao, ciao. Ciao.